Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we are in another Salvation Army store, and I don't go to this one very frequently, but one thing I love about this store is they organize by color, and I've never seen this done in another thrift store before, but I think it looks very aesthetically pleasing and less cluttered. So I don't know, I just think it's really interesting. So they do it especially with these shelves in front of the window, so it just looks really nice when you're walking into the store as well. I absolutely love this bowl. We actually had it at the thrift store I used to work at. I don't need it though, so it stayed there. I also saw, I love this pattern too. It's by Glass Bake. I can't think of the pattern name, but again, I don't need it. I already have so many, but I do love it. And then I saw one of these chip and dip sets. I think I see it in like every store. It almost looks like they had both prices or both pieces priced individually, which is weird. And then I saw this green tray at the very bottom, which I thought was so beautiful. I think it's meant for like deviled eggs around that middle part. But yeah, and then I saw this old light shade, which I also thought was really nice. I was debating, should I get this so that in a few years when I renovate, I'll already have it? I left it there. So I don't remember this the last time I was here, but it was also Christmas time. So, but when I turned around, I noticed that they kind of were doing the same thing on these shelves as well, which that's when I thought, wow, this looks a lot less cluttered. This, for the life of me, I don't know what it is, but it looks so familiar to me. It was like unlocking some kind of childhood memory when I saw it. I should have did a Google image search. I'm thinking like maybe a game was inside and it had like a top to it. I don't know. I just know that it looked so familiar to me, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Just now though, I am having a brief memory of like having like a farm animal set with like a fence, and I'm wondering if like all of that wasn't inside of that piece, because the outside of it looks like it would be like on a farm or something. So I don't know. Maybe it's even Fisher Price, but I didn't see any like name on it. I thought this was very interesting, but it was, unfortunately, the glass was smashed. And I saw the Betty Crocker recipe box, which I have in avocado. I see these so much. I saw this set of nesting dolls. I didn't bother unnesting it, but then when I got to the end of that aisle, I realized on all the end caps they were doing like a color theme as well. So it just continued on through the whole store. So now we're in the white section, I guess, which isn't really all that interesting. I did see like a few, I think I saw some like Pyrex mugs there, but it wasn't anything crazy. Mostly a lot of plain white dishes. And then opposite that was the black section, I guess, which consisted a lot of like electronics or like office supplies. I think there was a couple of pots and pans maybe too, but nothing terribly exciting. A lot of picture frames too, actually. My parents had a set of dishes like this, and every time I see them with like the pink and black, it was like the early to mid 90s. Every time I see them, I think about like their house that they lived in. Yeah, I just immediately takes me back to that time period. They had like a black couch set too that had pink flowers on it. It's very, I don't know, early 90s. Now we're into the brown section. So we had some brown mugs, and then I did notice some of these smoke glasses, which I do love, but I already have a whole bunch, so I left them there for someone to find. They're getting a lot harder to find in thrift stores, so I usually don't buy them to resell. I just leave them for someone to find. The brown section was also had a lot of picture frames and baskets and just decorative wood things. Nothing really all that exciting. I will say that I went to a section of the store that I don't think I filmed before this time. And they did have some interesting things over there. It's like behind a glass case. I never really think to go over there often, but I did this time. And then this is, I guess, the stainless steel or gray section. So then we got to the appliance section. Of course, there is a George Foreman grill. And then I noticed this. I think I showed one of something similar in a recent-ish video, but they had this whole line in like the very early 2000s of these red appliances that were for like cooking Mexican food. I'm pretty sure this one was like you put the tortillas in the little dome part, maybe for like fajitas or something, but they sold them like at the department store I worked at, and I just wanted them so bad at the time, but I couldn't afford to get them. I probably wouldn't still have them now anyway, even if I did get them then, but I don't know. But every time I see them, I think about that. I was kind of giving up hope of seeing something cool, but then I saw this wood-grained microwave. This definitely has a very 80s feel to it. I did want it, but like I'm just weird about used appliances for the most part. So, but if you've seen my kitchen, you would know that it would fit perfectly in my kitchen. So, but I thought that was cool anyway. I wish like mainstream companies would do like maybe a limited release of like vintage appliances. Like, I don't know, I feel like there would be so many people who would want them. But I don't know. I don't mean like the super expensive ones like that just specialty companies make. That a lot of times, if you read the reviews, they're really terrible reviews. So I don't know. I wish we could have the quality of the past as well. So then I took the corner and I noticed they had all their media on these shelves, which I love. Usually or I'm speaking of all thrift stores, just have their media in the most inconvenient places. So this was nice. I did have a look through this. Just usually I need both hands. They do have a bunch of records too, but I refrained from looking at those. And then they had even more CDs. The store had a lot of CDs. So yeah, I went over to the case and I noticed this Fisher Price little grill, which I definitely think I had that too. If I'm remembering correctly, it used to sizzle. I noticed that book and they had $30 on it, so I'm assuming it's a discontinued one. And then they also had the record player there. I just spoke about Fisher Price toys recently, and I think it might have even been my last video, but I was saying how I own the record player and a bunch of other things. I think these were priced too high. That's like new prices. So the only thing I ended up getting that day was this stereo. It was $35. It's like cassette and tape. I almost said cassette and tapes. Cassette and CD. Came with a remote. It is missing one speaker though, so I think I'm just going to try to thrift another set of speakers that are smaller. I've been wanting a CD player for a while, but I don't really want to buy like a new one because I feel like the quality isn't going to be as good. At least reading Amazon reviews, that's the vibe I get. So I've just been looking for a smaller sized one, and this one was perfect. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. I hope everybody had a great weekend too. My weekend was pretty chill. But I do have, I think, 1 or 2 more Thrift With Me videos that I filmed. So those will be out later this week. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.